you guys could zip that up in probably a half a day, leaving 1 inch minus material. You know, take another half to grade it and shape it.
So what would be the amount of manpower you need to do all that?
Great question. So, depends on how quick you want to get it done. So running an asphalt zipper is a 2-person process. But most cities have 4 or 5 people because while 2 people are zipping, the other person is shaping. And, you know, so.
That's what makes the process quicker. You have to have
Yes,
more people.
exactly. I know a city that has 2 people, and they zip it, and then they put the zipper away, and then they go and shape it, and then they put their grader away, and then they go compact it, and then, you know, so, but I would say most cities have 4 or 5 guys. So, could you do it with 2? Yeah, but, you know.
So with 2 people, how long would, for instance, that road that we just saw from Seguin would take? With 2 people, how long would that take?
So let's say, like, give me a
Beginning to finish.
So,
Jamie told me we did 2/3 of a mile, both sides, in a day and a half.
okay, that's all
How
right.
many men? How many?
How many people?
Right.
2.
Oh, 2 people?
Yeah, it takes 2 people to zip it. So there's somebody on the backhoe, and then there's a groundsman that's just kind of keeping them guided. Those wheels in the front steer by a wireless remote. So the backhoe guy's just giving it some power, and the groundsman's steering them down the road. Then they turn around, they come back, and they just do as many passes. So
If you got somebody shaking behind it, that's another 2 people.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be
Just,
5.
if you want to do it in a day or a week, yeah, you're going to take 5 people. But 2 people to run that zipper machine. And you don't have to, you can zip it, and come back the next day,
Right.
and shape it. You know, once you get it shaped and rolled, you ain't got to top it
Right.
for a while.
Yeah, so after it's zipped, it's just gonna look like a gravel road, you know, and then you shape it. So, but I'm.
Well, that's not, so you're not finished then. What you've done, you've just graded it, so you haven't put the top in.
Exactly.
So what is turnkey time with 2 people?
Right.
Turnkey, I would say, for one of these blocks right here, I'm pointing in the right direction, right? 2 guys would zip that up in about 3 or 4 hours. So then they put the zipper away. Now they need to come in and shape it. Probably take you the rest of the day to shape it. So there's a day. So now it's ground up and shaped. Now we're gonna compact it. So depends on your roller. Is it 30 inches wide? Is it 3 feet wide? Probably another half of the day. That's probably a 2-day project for 2 guys. Just one of those city blocks. One of those blocks.
2 days is not bad.
But that's just to get it done, you still need to resurface it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, what's turnkey? What is what it's, you drive away?
How long does it take you? I mean, a paver can pave that in a day easily. So if you're paving it yourself, I mean, 3 days probably max. Day to zip it, shape it, day to compact it, and a day to pave it. And most likely, once the guys got used to it, they would just zip it, shape it, and compact it all in 1 day. You know, and then you just have your, you know, if you guys are gonna pave it yourself, then that's gonna be a day.
So what's the cost of this zipper machine?
Okay, so the one that most cities get is 42 inches. You know what? I brought all this stuff. Why don't I just pass that? So, let's see. There you go. You guys want to check this out too? Let's cover it now. There you go. Okay, and then that saves you want to look at it. So look at the last page, this page right here. These are different zipper options. So The one that goes on a backhoe is the bottom right one. That's called the AZ420X wheel assist. Comes with everything you need, training, everything. It's $188,000 delivered.
Only?
But tell them to park.
So, don't slow
What's the good part?
So here's the deal. Why did De Leon, population 2,500, buy this machine? Why did Hamilton? I don't know if you guys have driven through there. There's a lot of cities that don't have a lot of money, but they have to do something. So there's a purchase option that would allow you guys to get this asphalt zipper, use it for a year, and then after 1 year, you pay for 1/5 of it. Now, it is a bank financed option, so there's interest involved, but in that 1 year that you use it, most cities almost save enough money to pay off the whole thing. But it just does it so, I don't know if I'm explaining that right. So you guys get a zipper, we come down, help you guys put it to work. Then after 1 year, you pay for 1/5 of it. This machine here, it's about $42,000. 40 to 42,000 a year. So after 1 year, you can decide, you know what, let's just pay it all off and just pay the interest during that year, or let's start the annual payments. And then, so it's kind of like the zipper's paying for itself in advance, and that's how most of these smaller cities are able to afford one of these
And
machines.
how about maintenance to that machine should it break down?
Well, let's see, so let's talk about maintenance. Asphalt zippers, just like all milling machines, they have these carbide bits on there. So those bits are about $10 each. On a project like this, we would probably use about 4 of them. And we show them how to check, we give them all the tools and stuff. There's just like a little carbide that's about 1/2 inch long. And those teeth last about 12 hours each. And then when they wear down, you change them, but they just wear differently. So when we train them how to use it, we show them how to open the hatch about every hour, and you check your teeth, and you'll change 1 or 2 maybe. So that's your main maintenance. Besides that, there's some belts that you'll change. I would say every 5 years. You have your regular fluid changes every year. You have filters on there that you'll change every couple of years. But maintenance, I'm trying to think. Years ago, I'm just trying to think. I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, there's no real issues. As long as you're running the machine right, the drum will last 20 years.
Continue to use a machine of that magnitude without doing some type of maintenance to it, you know? And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
of course, you know, the wear and tear on the grinding machine and its carbon bits.
Yeah.
And then having to replace all those carbon bits. And what should happen if the machine breaks down? We're responsible for it, right?
Well, you have a 2-year warranty on the machine. The engine is a Cummins engine, so we work with our local Cummins dealer to handle that. You know, asphalt zippers like any machine, anything can happen.
Right. But if we own that thing, we're gonna be responsible for
We're
everything.
responsible for everything we have now.
Yeah, but, you know, for,
This is one particular thing, that's one particular job, and that's it.
and that's it, yeah.
Guys, let's let the
Okay.
presentation.
No, that's fine. I want to hear all the stuff. If there's stuff, hesitations, reasons why you don't like something, let me know. I can just tell you that there wouldn't be 400 asphalt zipper owners in Texas if they weren't a dependable piece of equipment.
That's fine. I know that we just have other things to get through.
Okay,
For-
oh, timing wise, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were like, okay, that's all good.
No, we're not, I'm not complaining about the machine, I understand that. Well, all I was trying to point out was that there's more money than just to sell a machine to us, because it's gonna take more money to run. That's all I was saying.
Right, there's fuel, you know, but, I mean, most cities, if you talk to JD, before he got an asphalt zipper, they were spending $90 a square yard to pay a contractor to come in and fix these roads. They're at $12 a square yard right now. So even though, if there's more cost, it's still way covered by what you're saving versus relying on a contractor.
I agree with how you're repairing these roads. I agree with that. But with a small budget of trying to obtain this equipment, we're near the fire truck more than we are the zipper machine.
Okay. Totally fine. I mean, like I said at the beginning, it's gonna be up to you all and Mike what you wanna do. You know, my job is, you know, I just wanted to come down and talk about how to fix roads and how a zipper could help you guys.
Yeah, yeah. And that's probably the best way to do the recycle and stuff. Probably the best way
Yeah,
to do it.
on the same basis, less cost. I mean, what we're trying to do is get a start of how, you know, these roads are dire need of repair. You know, and we can't fix them overnight. We know that, but we gotta start somewhere. We gotta have a process, just go for it, you know, to head to. You know, we can't continue to let things be bogged, you know.
I have cities tell me all the time, we're poor, we don't have the money, and straight up with them, that's the reason they need to do this. Unless they're doing nothing. If you're not paying a contractor or anything, you're just not doing anything with your road, buying a zipper would be the cost. But if you're gonna pay a contractor a couple $100,000 to come and do something when you can do it yourselves for $65,000, that's the difference.
Well, the problem is, sir, is you kind of got the cart in front of the horse. We have no idea we don't even have a working budget yet to work with, nothing.
Right.
So it's an SWAG is what it is at this point in time, okay? And I see exactly what you're saying. I work for the state and understand all of it. The process is excellent, there's no problem with that. The problem is when a city can't give their employees a raise because the budget is so tight, and then making committing to a $40,000, and we can't even do anything tonight either, anyway. See, that's what the sad thing is, you need to be here in August, and this needed to be brought in. You can hem haul over there all you want. If the money's not there, because what's gonna happen, we get a working budget, just so you understand our consent. It's a line item budget, and we have to move the money around and take from Peter to pay Paul in order to do what we need to do. And it's not anything on you at all. You have an excellent product. In fact, it's one of the best ones I've seen.